This is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. So this is what we're making today, the Luna by Jeannie bags. I will say this is probably one of the most unique designs that I have ever done. So you have a panel here and a panel here. On the back you have a separate panel. You have a shoulder strap, which is nothing unique about that. It closes with a magnetic snap. And I made an accordion wallet to match. The big design feature here is that you can make different sides to connect. It connects with a separating zipper. So you undo this zipper. Let me take out my accordion. You undo this zipper and you could add a different side to it. So just take off your handle and you've got a separate side. If you don't want to do that, just put it back together. Now I only had a plastic separating zipper, but I think they come in nylon, because that's obviously what most of us are used to using. So let me tell you the couple things I would do different than I did on this one. This was my first one. Not a lot, really. Very unique. So I made this the front without the zipper, and then the zipper pulls on the back. Number one, I would make a little different handle. You need to follow her directions because she does a twisted handle, which is very unique. I did not do that. I would add different zipper ends. These are the ones that came with the pattern. And I would do my handle just a little different. The other thing is on these covers, so on the inside the zipper is covered so nothing gets in there. I would make them out of the lining material, not the exterior material. Just my 2 cents. There are no interior pockets because it separates. Although you could put a gusset pocket on there if you wanted to. But the pattern comes with a separate little pouch to make. I just made an accordion wallet. The Luna by Jeannie bags. Very unique design. I would encourage you to go try it. It's very cute. Thanks for watching. Let's get started. Good morning, this is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs, and I'm getting ready to do a brand new pattern. You'll see the finished product before this clip by Jeannie bags. This is the second pattern that I have done a launch video for. I think the pattern has already launched, but we're going to do it and get it released today. So it is a very unique bag, very unique. So it's not a standard crossbody. It's not a standard shoulder. It's not a standard anything. So I haven't made it. So we'll see. You'll see how it turned out before this clip. I am going to add a little accordion wallet to start with. And that's what we're going to start first, is we're going to do the accordion wallet. And I'm making it out of 2 vinyls. So the basket weave and the faux suede by Indolove. And I'm using antique hardware. And then this is going to be my lining. A very thin waterproof canvas. This is from Zipper Valley. Love it. Okay, let's get started. This is just the accordion wallet. All right, let's start. This is the quick and easy accordion wallet by my friend Lori at Wild Plenty Designs. The pattern and the materials you can buy on my website. Okay, let's turn that right side out. I am using 2 vinyls for this, if you notice. I decided to do that this time. I haven't done that in a while. Normally I use the lining fabric that I use for the project. But I decided to do it this time because that is so thin, that waterproof canvas. Let's do a bit of a dry fit. Let's just make sure I didn't overdo my seam allowances. No, that's perfect. Perfect. Okay, good. All right. So now we're going to just close off each short end. Nice. I'm going to do the basket weave for the outside. All right, let's do our hole. Okay. Going to be a bit of noise. And let's finish it up with the scissors. And double check it. Perfect. Oh my goodness. Getting pretty good at that. Okay. All right. Now let's measure and mark for our accordion. Let's add some double-sided tape. And I'm using a brown, a light brown accordion. I thought it went better with this than black. let's do it. And even though I'm using double-sided tape, I always clip these because they, you know, there's a lot of pull on them and they just don't stay, typically, for me anyway. Okay. Put the other side on. All right, there we go. Let's stitch that up. All right, let's sew this up. Perfect. All right. Okay, let's add our clasp. Grab some glue. When you're adding glue to this side, just stay away from the hole. You don't want glue eking out. Perfect. Let's do this other side. Doesn't take much. The pattern that she has, it does come with a pouch, just FYI. It does come with a nice little pouch that you could make with the pattern piece and everything. This is just my standard anymore, is to make a little accordion wallet. Almost done. Perfect. That's it. Oh, I gotta take off my plastic. I leave the plastic on until the very end. That way nothing gets scratched. All of mine come with a little plastic. All right, beautiful. Oh my God, it's so cute. The Quick and Easy Accordion Wallet by Wild Pony Designs. Absolutely adorable. Okay, next step. So the hardware is, you need, very unique, you need a separating zipper. And I only have a plastic one, so that's what I'm going to use today. But it needs to be an 18-inch separating zipper. I think it's going to end up being hidden, so I think it's fine. So that's that. You need 2 D-rings, 1-inch D-rings. You need 2 either gate rings or O-rings. And you need 2 magnetic snaps. And then I have a label. I am going to put my label on first. And I'm going to put it over here on the bottom, right, the bottom left, out of the way. The thing to remember with these front panels, make sure you do them mirrored. So you should have 2 mirrored pieces, one for the back and one for the front. So it should look like that. The purpose of this, obviously, is that you can change out your purse and make it look any way you want it to. Very unique. All right, let's decrease our stitch length just a little. I gotta get my magnet out of the way. There we go. All right, let's add our label. And I'm going to pull that thread to the back. Trim those to the same length. And tie those off. Then on all your pieces, you want to measure in from this straight edge a certain distance. So on all 4 of these pieces, and then on your 2 gusset pieces, you measure it up from the bottom a certain distance and mark those. And then I'm doing my handle just a simple handle. So I have 2 pieces, and I made mine just a little longer. Mine are 18.5. So we're going to do those first. And we're going to fold those in. I did it this way instead of doing one 4-inch piece. Don't ask me why. And I did both sides of this in the in this basket weave. I didn't have quite enough of the green. So that was my choice. Let's do this other one. She does a really cool handle, so I would encourage you to do that. Okay, then I'm just going to add a piece of double-sided tape down the center to keep that in place. And lay them on top. Forgot where the camera was. Huh. All right, let's sew that together. Whole place. All right, here we go. I am using my Cell-Rite magnet. Seam gun. Alrighty. This end is 1/8 of an inch long. Isn't that funny? Let me even this side up too. This is fine. All right. Very short handle, but remember it's going to have O-rings on it, so I think it'll be fine. All right, next step. All right, so very unique process. So with those markings you made, we're first going to lay one side on the bottom. And we're just going to sew up with the seam allowance in the pattern up to that first mark. We're going to do this 4 times. Okay. Then we are going to cut into that line, but do not cut your stitches. And we're going to fold these over, tape them over. Very interesting. Okay, so open that up and tape that open. Just like that. Then take the other half of that front panel, just like that, and we're going to add this. I know, it's very confusing. To that front panel. Just like this. Sorry. Okay. So when you're done, you're going to end up with something like this. The curved edges are on top. The straight edge is all the way across the bottom. Okay? So just like that. That's what you should end up with. So let's sew this one. And cut into that without cutting your threads. And tape it open. Very interesting, Jeannie. Okay. So that is what you should have. Okay, let's repeat that for the other side. I have it clipped because I had to see how it went. It wasn't making sense to me, but it does. Okay. Cut into that. Tape it open. All right, let's repeat that on this side. Okay, I'm just making sure I have it on there right. Yep, okay. All right. One more clip. One more tape. So you should have done that 4 times. Oops. Making a mess on my tape. You'll know immediately if you didn't do this right. Because that's what you should have. All right, next step. All right, so we're going to repeat that with the lining. Okay, mark just like she tells you to in the pattern. And then we're going to sew up to that mark. All right, we'll set those all aside. And now we're going to grab our zipper strip. All right, so we're going to fold this right sides together. Very interesting. And we're going to mark down a certain distance from these short ends. From both short ends. Draw a curve within that 1.5, in that 1/2 inch mark. Draw a curve. I don't see a curve, but I think what she's doing is doing it this way. Let me see. Yeah. So I'm going to mark it on this side. It's really hard to see my leather pen, so. So that's what you should have, something like that. And then we're going to stitch on that curve. Very interesting. Okay. I'm just following the instructions. Oops, I just dropped my pen. I'm not sewing down the long edge, just this little short edge. Okay, then I'm going to trim that. Just like that. So that's what you have. And then we're going to turn it right side out once we do the other side. Okay. I'm getting it. Let me make sure I'm getting them the same way. Oops, I just messed my bobbin. Okay. There we go. Okay, trim that up. And let's just see if I'm doing this right. So hold on. Turn it right side out. Trim down seam allowance. Turn the strip right side out and clip. Okay. Interesting. This is what covers the zipper. And then she wants you to top stitch all the way around that. Interesting. I'm going to start on the raw edge here because I'm guessing that won't be seen. And then top stitch the other sides. Very interesting. All right. So there's one. So that's what that looks like. All right, let's repeat that with this side. Okay, so lay your zipper overlay centered on your lining piece, and we're just gonna baste that in place. Very interesting. Okay. 1/8 of an inch. Now we're going to do our zipper. And we're going to lay our zipper with the teeth. Place the left side of the zipper like this. Interesting. Left side of the zipper into the right side of the main lining and clip in place. This is my left. So let me read this just a second. All right, so you want to take your zipper right side up, and we're going to attach it on top of the lining where we have our overlay, okay? After you've marked down each side just a little, as per the pattern. And we're going to sew this together. We're just going to base this on. Let me just make sure. Yeah, 1/8 of an inch. Feels so weird to use this kind of a zipper, I have to say. Okay, right side up. I had to really play with that a little bit to make sure I was doing it right. Okay. All right, now she wants you to add your magnetic snaps on these two pieces. So I already marked from the main pattern piece. She tells you exactly where to put them. And I'm using prong magnetic snaps this time. Okay. So this goes like, let me see. Yeah, this goes like this. Let me make sure. Hold on. Trying to decide. She doesn't really tell you. Use the pattern piece A. Fix both male and female snaps on both lining pieces. Oh dear. Okay, hold on. All right, so you need to attach one female on one side. And I'm using some Decabelle Heavy because my lining is pretty thin. Okay. And then I'm going to cover it with just a little piece of lace. Okay. And then on this other side, we're going to add the male portion. So that's a female portion. This is the male portion. Yeah. All right. And cover that with a piece of lace. Okay. All right. Now we're going to add right side down. Let me get all this out of my way. One of our lining, our exterior pieces. Right side down. Centered. Very unique. I like it. I am going to separate my zipper though now. Get rid of some of that bulky. Okay. Clip that together, and then we're going to sew that with the full seam allowance. Okay, so this is what you have. Very unique. All right. Very unique. Trim your seam allowance down. I am not trimming my zipper, just FYI, but I will trim the seam. I think it's always good to try new designers and new techniques. This is a very unique pattern. Let's trim this side down. I can't trim that side down because I basted it. Interesting. Okay. All right, next step, turn the right side of the main piece and top stitch. Okay. All right, so with your lining and your exterior right sides together, we're going to top stitch, but just to the end of the zipper. Okay. hear a bunch of pounding, we're getting in the new air conditioner. Sorry about that. Okay. It's cute. Okay, now we're going to repeat that. So this is what you have. Here's your lining with your snap. So it's going to go like this. Oh my goodness, how cute is that? All right, let's do the other side exactly the same way. I'll do that on fast forward. All right, so let's add this, and then we're gonna just make sure we get the zipper on right. All right, so here is our other piece. So you just want to make sure that you're starting and you got your zipper on correctly. So this is where my zipper connects right here. Just like that. Yeah, okay. So we want to make sure that's correct, and it is. Okay. So it'll go on like this. No, that's not right. I'll play. Okay, so with your linings right side up, just make sure that you have your zipper on correctly. And I do. So the end of my zipper, both of the ends are down here. And then when it zips up, it's going to zip up the sides. So that's exactly how I want it. So now we're going to, so this just baste it on. And if it helps you, just put the whole thing, kind of baste it together and make sure you got it the way you want it. So 1/8 of an inch here. Okay. Now we're going to add our outside piece. Right side's on top of that. Centered. and the full seam allowance. Okay. Now, let's just put them together to see what it looks like. And I did my, I did the same on both sides. I didn't mix it. Oh my goodness. So, I mean, my green is on the same side and my tweed is, or my basket weave. Isn't that cute? All right, next step. All right, so now we're going to sew our gusset to our panels all the way around. So I'm going to just do one side and then I'll do the other. They fit pretty good. So I didn't clip this other one because it fits so well. We'll see. Just make sure your lining is out of the way. Yeah, it fits perfect. Well done, Jeannie. Okay. I'm going to separate this again, though. Okay, we're going to sew down till we meet that other stitch line. And then we're going to top stitch it too. Now this is a different seam allowance, so just be aware. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, let me just look how it looks. Oh my, that looks good. Huh. Okay, let's do this other side. Okay. Let's see what it looks like. I'm going to turn it right side out and see. gosh, that is so cute, Jeannie. Look at that. So there's the back. And there's the side. Huh. Alright, now how are we going to top stitch this? Top stitch close to the edge of the side panel C. Yeah. Okay. Make sure your lining is out of the way. It's a little bit of a booger, but it can be done. Take your time. Very unique. Okay. Okay, I'm going to repeat that on this side. You wouldn't really have to do this if you felt uncomfortable with it, I don't think. But I like top stitching, so I'm doing it. Just take your time. It is very visible, so you have to be careful. Again, make sure your linings are up out of the way. Okay. Okay. Very cute. All right, next step. All right, and we're going to do the same thing for the linings. And then we'll repeat the whole thing for the other side. Very unique, Jeannie. The lining looks to be a little more of a challenge because you have that zipper cover. Doable. I'm not used to some of these other clips though. Yeah. And I'm just going to do one side at a time. I love these tiny little baby clips. Now this down here, it gets a little tight because of your overlay. Okay. Doable. Tight. Let me see how it looks. Okay. Let's repeat that on the other side. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's turn it right side out, see how we did. Oh my, that looks good. Actually, I think I caught this when I did some top stitching or something. So I gotta fix that. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Cute. So here's one side complete. Huh. All right, hold on. All right, don't forget to add your other part of your snaps. On these lining pieces. I did until I got this together, and then I thought, oh dear. Easily fixed. You can just add it now. Okay. And I'm going to try and add, so on the green side is my male piece. So I'm going to try and add them the same way. Not that it really matters, honestly, but... Okay. Grab a little fleece piece. Cover that up. Or a piece of duct tape or whatever you have handy. And add it over here. Add your washer. Perfect. Okay, that looks so good. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold this down and top stitch. This is so unique, Jeannie. I don't know how you ever came up with this. Honestly. It's a very versatile bag. Yeah. So up here, I went a little too far. You weren't supposed to stitch past your zipper because we need to be able to fold that down. Yeah. No big deal. And then I'm going to trim off that zipper teeth or tape. Interesting. And fold that down. I don't think I like this. Hold on. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to go. Okay, just a second. Okay. Yeah, I have a raw zipper there. I don't like that. So I'm going to fold that in just a little. You know, 90-degree turn, just like we do. She may have told me to do that, and I didn't do it. More than likely, that's the case. Okay, so I have a raw zipper here, and so I'm going to fold that in. Yeah, this is the top up part of the zipper. Yep. Okay, that's better. Yeah. In fact, let's just... There we go. Better, better. Okay, so that's what you should have. I just push my zipper in a little bit. This is where the zipper comes and ends. It starts down here. So over here, let's see how we're gonna do this. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. I gotta get a bigger clip. Hold on. Let me get one of these. Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. Get all my tools out of the way. Alright, now let's top stitch. And then I will come back up here. In fact, I'm just going to do that. So it's one stitch right there. And top stitch. Oops, I didn't put my needle down. Don't cover this end of your zipper because you have to be able to connect them. So just keep that in mind when you're top stitching here. That actually looks pretty good. Oh, I missed it right here. So I'm going to go one more round. I'm going to go all the way around one more time. So I'll do a double row of top stitching. Just an 1/8 of an inch from my first one. That fixed that problem. Nah. I didn't catch it on this one side, my lining, and so now I did. Yeah. And the double top stitching looks nice. I'll show you. there it is. So that's one side complete, and I have my snap. Oh my goodness. That is very cute, Jeannie. Very cute. All right, let's do the other side. Excuse me. Okay. Attach your exterior. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do one side at a time. So cute. Okay. Let's do the other side. Okay. Do a little cleanup here. Surprisingly, this is actually not hard. Oh my goodness. All right, let's put this together. Let's make sure we can put it together. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys. That is very, very cute. I see a little tiny little thread right there. And then it snaps together for closure. And now we got to do our strap. Very cute. Very cute. All right, next step. All right, so I cut out one of my D-ring connectors, and I'm just going to attach it and then sew it together and then trim it, just so I get a good connection there. All right, I'm going to sew those together. Eighth of an inch. Alright, there's one. And let's do the other one, then we'll trim them up. Okay. Let me get a really sharp pair of scissors. This is the easiest way to do this. I think. So now you have one perfect D-ring connector. All right, there's two. Beautiful. Now, let me grab my D-rings. You could edge coat these if you wanted to. And just going to choose the side that looks the best. Which is this side. So just like that, and that's how it's going to go. So I'm going to put a hole there. Let's choose this side. Yeah. Perfect. I'm going to clip that together and make a little, my D-ring connect, my rivet hole. And I'm going to try and use this. We'll see. I am going to use my big rivets. Wide rivets. Okay, there's one. There's two. And then we're going to add it and mark it. Just want to make sure it's nice and centered on your gusset. Okay. Whoops. Let's make our hole here all the way through. Let me see if it went all the way through. Yeah. Okay. Let's grab a wide rivet. Need two of those. And two of those. Okay, I'm going to put it in that side, put it on our bag, pull it all the way through, and put the cap on, just like this. Let me see it, if I can see what you can see. All right. Perfect. All right, let's press that. Grab my tools. Oops, I got the wrong side. Goodness gracious, Barb. Probably easier to do it this way. I don't think I quite got it down, so we're going to give it a couple more whacks. Perfect. Oh my gosh, look how good that looks. All right, let's do it on the other side. Where did my other piece go? Oh, please. All right, I thought I'd do it up here so you could see better maybe. Just gonna mark for it. Do my hole. Add my D-ring connector. This is really pretty easy. I'm actually surprised. All right. Perfect. Okay. Now we're just going to do our handle. All right, next step, hold on. So these are the connectors, and because my vinyl is just a little stretchy, I'm adding a little piece of Decaville here, right down the center. Just a little piece of Decaville light, that's all it takes. So this is what I did. Is it perfect? It's fine. I just have a little threads I want to trim up. There we go. And then I added a rivet. So this is a gate ring, so I can add it afterwards. So what I'm going to do is, there's a little piece extra there. I'm going to add this, and I need to kind of mark where I want my crossover to be. So let me just do that right there. Just need to leave enough room for me to get the gate ring in, you know. Okay. Yep. So wrong sides together, and we're just going to stitch up the side. Oh, lots of noise, guys. Sorry. And over. And back down. Now this is going to allow us to put our listen to that noise. Goodness gracious, I may have to stop recording. And then we're going to just trim this up just a tiny bit. I'm going to make sure I can get my gate ring in. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take it back out. Gonna slide our strap in there. And push it in as far as it'll go. And then I'm going to do 2 rows of stitches across the bottom. Nice and centered. We're almost done. Okay, and I'm going to do one more. Even though we're going to put a ribbon, I want to do 2 rows of stitches here. Okay. Let's add our rivet. Clean that up just a little. Okay. Add a rivet. Right in the center. Gonna be a bit of a noise. A lot of noise here. A lot of noise today. Grab a rivet. Set our rivet. Perfect. Add our gate ring. Oh my goodness. And attach it to our bag. Now you could use swivel clasp or whatever you choose. The nice thing is that it's removable. If you want to change out for a crossbody, you could certainly do that. Here it is. Oops, I got a string up here. Okay. Here it is. Snaps. Oops, I have my plastic on my snap. Very cute. I think it would be cuter if you mimicked, you know, one side is one side and the other, but I kind of like it like this. There you go. The Luna by Jeannie bags. Very unique. So the whole idea is that you can switch these out. Switch the sides out. So unzip it. And you have 2 sides. So if you want to change one out for a different side, you certainly can do that. And then all you have to do, obviously you'd have to make a different side. Then just put it back together. And lift it up. Very unique, Jeannie. I don't know how in the world you came up with this. And then I made a matching accordion. And it closes with the 2 magnetic snaps. And you have a nice shoulder handle. That's it. The Luna from Jeannie bags. It's a very unique design. I would encourage you to give it a try. I'll link the pattern down in the description so you can go and purchase the pattern. Thank you, Jeannie, for allowing me to do it. The next one I probably would do contrasting panels here and here, just so it makes it kind of that unique look. Very cute. Thanks for watching.